Hello there and welcome back. Today we discuss about my studio. A few of you guys asked me to do a rundown of it, and rather than show it off, I just want to discuss what was my thought and how I build it to match my workflow. I hope this could be interesting for you. So I think I separate my music process in three different times. I have a creative moment, and is where I test instrument, I create chains of effects, and just do mostly sound design. It's mostly like a meditative process, a practice process. And so I have this table here, that is where I do that, where I place all of the new instrument, for example, where I put all of my effects, and where I just tweak around and have fun and spend a lot of time. Then I have my live setup. I just bought this workbench that actually really suits me. It's tall and slim and pretty nice for this kind of setup. Here is where I want to just practice my streaming, where I just want to do a live setup, and since I'm pushing the improvisation live a lot, I wanted to have everything set up. And with just the old table that I had, I always had to move things, and so whenever I feel I want to just play music, I had to move all the scenes, connect everything, and it was really turned down for me. So now I have all of the situations set up. Whenever I want to play, turn it off, turn it on, and just have fun. And then the third part of my studio is the computer side, is where I do my post-production. Sometimes it's very simple and it's just, some mastering thing. Sometimes I do more intense production, and as you see, it's mostly just the computer, my monitors, my sound card, and I like to keep it very, very, very clean so nothing distracts me. I think that separating my workflow in these three different sections really pushed my creativity, because I love to have a different frame of mind, a different mindset for each part of it. When I'm doing a sound design, I want to just focus on the sound and not having in the back of my head the idea I need to create a track, I need to make something. But it's just that, and so I can really focus on that and go very deep in what I want to do. When I want to play, I want to have the instrument that I'm really proficient on and that I really know very well how to use, so it's just a performance space. And at the computer is my least favorite side of it, but you need to record stuff, you need to polish them sometimes, so it's great to have that side also very clean and with less distraction possible. So I'm gonna handheld the camera and show you all the separate parts and show you how they are connected and they work together. So forgive me if it's gonna be a little bumpy ride, but yeah, let's do it. All right. Let's start from what is probably the most important part for me. The Model 1 is my mixer, and it's where all the instruments are connected. I have 6 stereo track plus a couple of other insert and a return that I can use as audio in if I want. But I'm trying to keep the things as easy as possible. So with 6 stereo track, I find out that I am fine. This section of the table, it's my, I'd say, control hub. It's where all the audio is routed and I have the control on EQ and stuff. And then I have my MIDI controller, the Fader Fox PC12, that it's controlling the octatrack for live situation, and also it controls some synth, some effect, and some other synth like TR8 if I want. I can map it in many different ways, so it can be used both as a performance instrument or as a sound design instrument to tweak stuff like the Nord drum, that, for example, that doesn't have a lot of control on its interface so I can map this button to have a more easy way to use it. Anyway, mostly I have the first 3 tracks that are dedicated to my live setup. Then I have a couple of tracks that are always free for my creative setup, and the last one that is the delay return. Sometimes I use this as a reverb return actually. I discussed about that in depth in another video. So as you can see now, on this table I like to keep my more experimental instrument. Right now I'm preparing a live setup, a live performance, and I'm studying the lyra, and I'm using with this chain. I really like to have enough space to put whatever effect I want, and right now I'm having fun with the Mood, El Capistan, and the CXM 1978. And here we are. And this is what I do. I just like experiment how things sounds together, and I feel that this side of the table is sacred and just for experimentation. I like to think of that as my meditation practice space. Also, you're probably aware I do a lot of video for Instagram, and this is the side of the table that has the better lighting since the windows is closed. So most of my video, I'd say 99%, are shot here. A lot of people ask me how I do video, and this is how. I have just a nice space with a nice lighting, and it really helps. So here I have some effects unit there, and I have my reel-to-reel that is connected to my mixer. So the record out goes inside the reel-to-reel, and the reel-to-reel go either back in the mixer when I use it as an effect tool, or into my Apollo when I want to just record. So this is basically it for the creative part. On the live setup, I needed to create something that made possible for me to have a hands-on on all the instruments that I really know. So, as you might already know, Octatrack is the brain of the operation. It sequences the Vermona, it sequences sometimes the TR-8, it sequences the North drum. So I kinda lied. This table, a little part of this table is part of the live setup. Then I just added to the setup the Avalon, that is my 303 clone, it's one of my favorite instruments, and just bought the Electron machine drum. Finally found it. It's not the UW version, sadly, but it sounds incredible, and like it really make me question why I should keep the rhythm, honestly, because this is so amazing. So I just put it on the live setup, and I want to use it extensively. The TR-8, it's my favorite classic sounding electronic drum. It's super easy to use, and in a live situation, having all the sliders and all the control here really helps. So I'm actually routing the machine drum out inside the TR-8 in, so I can use the side chain and create interesting sound. And then from here I go inside mono, actually I go mono inside the Octatrack. This guy go with 2 channels inside the Octatrack, and the Avalon get the other of the in. So I'm using all the in on the Octatrack. The Octatrack out goes inside the auto boom, another of my favorite thing now. It became really essential for my sound. It had interesting possibilities. I know that I have a lot of filter here that sounds pretty great. But having another one here, it's pretty handy. And one trick that I like to use, let's turn down. As you can hear now, this is the machine drum. And I can sidechain it. And you hear how this gave an interesting pumping effect. So it's really nice for a live performance. I do a lot of streaming, and I found out that it's very important for me to have a setup that doesn't change too much. So this is my streaming view. Boom. And I guess that's it. This is the situation. If you want to know more about the routing, I did a rundown on a previous video. Of course, these go out as a stereo signal from the auto inside my first channel right now. In this precise moment, I'm having the eventide space on this channel and a delay, the bend it up. On channel 6. Then I'm using a nice trick for my live lately. I use QB to send the signal from here, and with the level I can decide how much, to the microcosm and the room. So now I didn't have, it's not connected, sorry. And I'm using channel 2 for the Nord drum, where I have some preset, and I mostly use it. Let's go to mine, 5, where is it? Here. I'm using for this kind of percussion. I really love it. And it's sequenced with the Octatrack. So from here, I have a stereo out that goes directly into my computer setup. So I like to start, I use Ableton, and I like to start with a very simple setup. I have a rhythm track here that it's when I use the analog rhythm with the USB, with the overbridge, that it's amazing because it separates all the track. But honestly, I don't use it that too much. Instead, I have just a Modo one, the come in, and this is as easy as it can get. It's just like recording my stereo out and trying to have a great performance when I do a track. I'm using the ADAM A77X for my monitor. I always had ADAM since I started doing music. I really feel confident with these monitors, and yeah, they are pretty loud for my apartment, but my neighbors are great. So I'm using a lot the LCD2 from Audius for my headphone, and most of my mixing is actually doing with this because I don't have a treated room, So I am forced to use these guys. And this is the mic I use for most of my streaming stuff, and it's SM7B with a cloud lifter to push a little his gain. Apollo is my main sound card, and lately I just got the Culture Voltor that I'm using as a warmer. It's a tube distortion unit, very beautifully sounding, and everything, and not everything, but most of the things are patched to my patch bay. So I have all the input of the card here, the output of the card here, and here I have the Culture Voltor. That is actually normal, so without patching anything, I can use it in Ableton. But I can also patch the in with some other instrument if I want to use it just as a effect box when recording. I'm waiting for another rack that is the Overstayer modular channel that I will probably use extensively because it's pretty amazing. So as you can see, this is basically it. I like to create a situation that embraces me, so I can stand here and move anywhere I want, and everything is like reachable very easily, and everything to me has to be connected, because if I'm in a creative mood, I really need to be fast in record or do what I want to do. I also have my art wall here, and and plants. Plants is another thing that synth people on the YouTubes and Instagram needs to have. It really helps with your sound, right? So a lot of plants, and mostly it looks like thanks to my wife that gives me a lot of idea on how to keep the space neat. So I guess this is about it. I have some utility part here, of course, because I have a lot of stuff. I have all of my effect here. I need to find a better solution for them. And also I have a beautiful Wurlitzer here that I'm playing in front of the window when I feel that way. On the software side, I use mostly Universal Audio plugin, and I mostly do a simple master bus mixing or mastering. I show this is mostly what I use on my mastering chain. I have the FabFilter limiter. FabFilter limiter. I use so far I use their plugin version, but I just bought it, so look at that. Double Culture Voltor, the Manley, the Ampex, Shadow Hill, and the Dangerous Music. These are the plugins that I extensively use, and then I use the LA2A and the 1176 and API 2500. I guess I can do, and the FabFilter EQ. So with these things I do 99% of my production, and sometimes I use also the Sound Toys. I bought the Sound Toys suite, and I think it was the best money I've ever spent because their stuff is pretty amazing. But I don't own any other plugin. I prefer not to indulge in that side because it's too many things, and I would lose too much time learning how to use it. So, okay, I would be happy to answer any question you have, and mostly my idea for this video was to let you understand what was my thoughts on how I create my space, and what I really care, it's just like having all of my parts of the studio matching the frame of mind that I know I have. So I guess for each person, things would be different. But yeah, a lot of stuff. And for people that ask me, yeah, I work in photography too, so now I'm switching to music, but it's a collection that happened in years and years of being obsessed with music and tools and being a nerd. So it's not that I woke up a day and I just boom, have everything of this. It's just like finding out what works for you and then hold on it and sell what it's just noise. So yeah, this is just the creme of the things I've ever had. Okay, if you have any question, please ask me in the comments and I will be happy to let you know my thoughts. All right, have a good day and times for playing. Ciao.